Hello, you are welcome back to Unit 4, Session 3. Under this session, we'll be looking at the fine structure of skeletal muscle. And this will help us to explain why the skeletal muscle is striated and how the striations are related to the mechanism of contraction of muscles. By the end of this session, you should be able to explain the striation of skeletal muscles, also define myofibro, and as well describe the levels of organization of muscle from fiber to myofibro, and finally explain the relationship between fiber, myofibro, and myofilament. Hope you enjoyed this session. One of the distinguishing features of skeletal muscle is that it is striated. This can be seen under the aid of a microscope. So under the light microscope, a thin skeletal muscle appears to be striated in longitudinal section. The striation is the alternating light and dark cross bands that is visible in skeletal muscle fibers. Each fiber is striated or striped because it appears to have light and dark bands when seen through a microscope, as shown in the figure. Now let's have a look at myofibrils. The repetitive striations of muscle fibers leads or results from the vertical summation of smaller bands that occur in the myofibrils. In order to understand the fine structure of muscle cells, it is important to know the internal parts of the cells that performs the work or that carries out the major activity of the muscle. The relevant internal structures we'll be looking at includes the myofibrils, the myofilament, and the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Muscles are made up of muscle fibers or muscle cells, which contains these myofibrils and myofilaments. The myofibril or muscle fibril is one of the slender threads that is found in the bundles in the sarcoplasm of a muscle fiber. To help you follow the level of organization is in figure 26, which shows the gradation from whole muscle to fibril. Skeletal muscles have a characteristic striated appearance because the myofibrils that they are composed of are also striated. That is, the same stripes are lined up. And these myofibrils are made up of myofilaments, and the myofilaments are also striated, and they occur in regular repeating arrays. The myofibrils are the smallest structural and functional subunit of the muscle fiber when observed under the light microscope. The myofibrils are composed of protein structures called the myofilament. They are also arranged in register within the sarcoplasm that is parallel to the long axis of the muscle fiber. The striations, which is the alternation of dark with light band in the fibril, are produced by the distribution of contractile proteins in the myofilament. So when observed under the electron microscope, it reveals that the repeating pattern of bands is due to the arrangement of the myofilament. These filaments are in two forms, and these are the thick and thin filaments. The dark bands represent areas of thick protein filaments, whereas in between the dark bands are thin filaments made up of protein actin, and this protein helps to allow light to pass through and appear light. So have a look at these trial questions. What are striations? What are myofibrils? Distinguish between fiber, myofibril, and myofilament. Name the two proteins in myofilaments. Hope you were able to get the answers. Under Unit 4, Session 3, We learnt about the skeletal muscle fiber in detail, and we obtained information, or we studied the myofibrils and the myofilaments. And now we'll move on to the next session, which will look at the mechanism of muscle contraction.